Look at me filming when it's not dark yet. Today wasn't quite as nonsensical as yesterday and the day before. So, okay. What did we get up to today on the farm? I took, after multiple comments of your Halloween decorations are still up, we put some of the holiday ones up. A snowman, deer, and yes, there's still the ghost. I like my ghost and he's staying up. Shh! It's enough. We also have our candy canes and my Rudolph. So I love this Rudolph inflatable. Now, we have to pull these. There we go. We're going to have to secure these ties down here. So you put one this way and one the other way. And hopefully he won't blow away. He's my favorite. Hi, Spark. I like you better than everything, though. Also, we put up our candy canes. So we got that going for us. And then, of course, our deer. Everything will look nicer when the sun goes down. I want to move that tree. I have to get that broomstick thing out of there because that's Halloween. I want to move that tree over to behind them, which I think I'm going to do. I wonder if I can do that with one hand. Probably. This thing is not very heavy. So, drag it. This is not very heavy. I'm not even very strong. This is not a heavy tree. So we're going to go around these guys. That's a funny way to carry it. It was resting on the bad part of my hand. Okay. All right. We're going over here. We need this cord. Pull this cord down. Hopefully these still work. Where is... No, not this cord. It's the wrong end. I need the other end. I need the other end. Okay. I was pulling off the lights. So where is my pluggy in end? Is always the question. Pluggy in end here. Give it to me. Okay, we're going to see if this guy... Come on, let go. Ugh. My pluggy in end is tangled. Because of course my pluggy in end is tangled. Of course it is. Ugh. You should be hooked up there. And you are the pluggy in end. Let's see if this even works. It does. There. Now we got a tree. Yeah. Tree. That makes me happy. Yeah, and someone's going to say, are you going to do that this early? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because I can. I want to. I like it. Okay, so we are making slow progress on the stick pole fencing. It's not completely... Hi, Shadowfax. It's not completely dark out here, so I can show you some of it. Now, he's out most of the time anyway. There's birds over here. He's out most of the time anyway, so I'm not particularly worried. Right? Hi, Shadowfax. Oh, no. I'm not particularly worried. Like, it's not really a big deal if he doesn't have a huge pen, because he's out so much. But we have so much lumber, and there's no point in buying a bunch. So these are lashed up. They're really sturdy already, but we are going to wrap wire as well and tighten the wire with pliers. But these trees aren't going anywhere. These are very old trees. So this is just to, keep him in. And you can use all kinds of things. Anything long enough. Like this is actually a PVC pipe that we found in the bush. It wasn't even ours. It was just here when we moved here. So that's a PVC pipe. And we're just going to keep doing this. And we're going to go, and then we can pull all this junk out of here that we used to block them in. Because, hi. Yeah. We don't care if he's out. It's just, at night and if nobody's home, we need to be able to lock him up. Because it's not safe for him to be running around the yard when nobody's here with him. So we have made some progress on our stick pole fencing. We're not in a particular rush, but Tristan is finally doing it. I didn't care. I was like, yeah, he's out all the time. I don't care. And Tristan was like, I want him to stop escaping. Well, then you got to put the fence up. So he's finally doing it. He's got all the stuff he needs. It was just, deciding to do it. Young men, sometimes it's like, fine, don't do it. I don't actually care if you don't do it. But if you don't, right? If you don't, he's going to be out. Oh, big wind blast. That's excellent. It is really cold out here. Rabbits are doing really well. There's 5 rabbits in that pile. And there's one back there. So there are 6 rabbits in this pen. They knocked down the front of their house again because they can. And there are 5 boys in here. 1, 2, 3. One's underneath. Oh, no, 2 are in the back. 2 in the back. Silverado has settled in. They've stopped hating each other, which is good because I just don't want him by himself. It gets too cold here in the winter to be completely alone. So this way, they're not alone. Anyway, what's the question I wanted to answer today? So that's why we're over by the rabbits, actually. We're going to walk around a bit while we answer it, but what exactly is the question today? So somebody asked me, what's the difference between raising a rabbit as just a pet and raising them with a purpose? And the answer is that depends on what the purpose is. So a rabbit that has a purpose can also be a pet. For example, Gemini, my beautiful black otter, Vienna marked, blue-eyed Holland Lop, she's my baby girl. I love that rabbit. She sleeps in my bed. She cuddles. She is so sweet and nice, and I love her. She is a pet. But she is primarily for a purpose. She is the matriarch of my breeding line. Okay, I've had other breeding rabbits before her, but it's her that I want the good stuff from. Like, she's got such good genes. She throws such beautiful babies. Her purpose, technically, is to produce beautiful show quality rabbits. And some of them are pet quality and go as pets. Yeah, that's fine. But she's kind of dual purpose. So it kind of depends what that purpose is, right? What is the purpose? So if the purpose is breeding, they can also be a pet. If the purpose is they're a show rabbit, they can also be a pet. If the purpose is collecting the fiber, like you have Angoras and you're plucking fiber, they can also be a pet. If they're for meat or you want their hides, probably not so much a pet. So what's the difference in raising them as pets versus not pets? Again, it depends if they have multiple purposes. So a rabbit that is also a pet will kind of fall more under the pet category. You treat them like a pet and you socialize with them and you love them. And if you're raising rabbits for meat, you still love them, but the way you raise them is going to be different. But even in the pet versus show category, the raising is a little different. For example, Capricorn is a show rabbit. He has multiple titles under his belt. His son, Scorpio, I intend to show him as well. So when you have show rabbits, the feed is different, right? They have you need them to basically fill out differently. You need their coat to be a certain quality, so you spend more on feed because these are show rabbits. If you're raising rabbits for meat, you need calories, right? Calories are the bread and butter. So that's what you want, is you want to make sure that rabbit's getting a lot of calories so that they fill out the way you want them to for a meat rabbit. If you're raising rabbits for their pelts or for their fiber, well, you're going to want to make sure you have the essential vitamins and minerals that lead to a really great coat, because that's what you're raising them for. If you're raising them to breed, you want to make sure your pregnant and nursing mamas are getting extra calories and the appropriate calories, because they're feeding a litter or they're growing a litter, depending on what stage they're at. So there is a difference in the actual approach. But there's also a difference in, like, if you're raising meat rabbits, they're probably not in your house. You probably are not raising meat rabbits in your living room. They're probably out in your rabbitry or out in kennels like we have or something like that. They're probably not in your living room. They're not going to be, because that doesn't make sense. If you're raising Angoras and you're plucking their fur, yeah, they might be in your house. If you're raising them to harvest their pelts, probably not. If they're your pets, maybe not. So our rabbits are part pet, right? Because Rowan loves his Rexes and I love my Lops. These Rexes are Rowan's. The Lops in the house are mine. So these guys are absolutely beautiful, and he takes such pride in them, and they are so gorgeous and all that good stuff. But he also raises them because he's raising seed stock, meaning he sells rabbits to other people that want to start their rabbitry. And he sells show stock. Again, his rabbits are quality rabbits. And he does sell pets. Not every rabbit born to show parents is going to be show quality. Like, Deli is a show rabbit. Our solid black here, she's a show rabbit. Most of her children could be in the show pen. Stump is a show rabbit. I have a burr on me. That's nice. Burr on me. That's good. Hang on. I'll just ignore it. Burr on my glove. Nice. That's from when I was over there. Anyway. So he raises rabbits for 3 purposes. He sells seed stock, show stock, and pets. I raise for mostly show and pets. I do occasionally sell trios or pairs as seed stock for people wanting to start their own programs. I don't tend to do that as much as Rowan does, mostly because Holland Lops are harder to breed, and sometimes it's just not worth it selling a pair to someone who wants to start breeding. Sometimes it's better for me to just sell them one, and then they get one somewhere else, and hopefully they get some education in the breeding of Lops. Lops have medical issues that if you're not really careful, you can end up with a lot of these medical issues. Like, you can end up with breathing problems, you can end up with ear infections. A lot of that goes back to the efficacy of the breeder. So how ethical is the breeder? Like, I won't breed a rabbit that's ever had an ear infection, for example. Not all breeders will. Like, some breeders will. It's just, but so a lot of it, Holland Lops are harder to breed, and I'm not as comfortable selling seed stock as he is. But I sell lots of show stock. He sells a little of everything. He'll occasionally sell a rabbit specifically for meat, but his prices are high because he's got really quality rabbits, pedigreed rabbits. So he's not willing to take $20 for a rabbit when his rabbits are worth way more than that. Which is fair. I wouldn't want to either. I don't sell my rabbits for $20. But so the difference in raising them is feed, and if you are going to be processing them, probably connection. You might not want to get as close to them as you would a pet, because they're not going to be with you long term. So pets are pets. You know, all they have to do is live their best pet life. Animals who are bred with a purpose have to fulfill that purpose. So that does necessitate some changes in the way you raise them. Whether it's feed, environment, you might For example, keep mamas specifically because they produce large litters. If you breed for meat, you want large litters. 1 or 2 babies isn't good enough. So purpose bred changes the way you think about it. Okay? It just does. Anyway, that is going to be it for us here today at Andersen Acres. The wind is picking up. I got to go secure that Rudolph. I can't do that with one hand. One hand is not going to work. So I have to use 2 hands. So I got to put the camera down. Anyway, that will be it. And hopefully we will come back tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're making tacos for dinner, which is very good because I really like tacos. Today, I think we're just doing sandwiches. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Every day this week has been long, and it's getting really, really cold. And I don't feel like cooking. So sandwiches it is. We'll see you tomorrow.